There is a fortress that no army can breach, no tyrant can occupy, no circumstance can destroy. It requires no walls, no guards, no weapons. It exists in a place beyond the reach of any external force. This fortress is your mind. And the Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, taught that understanding this is the foundation of genuine freedom. Marcus Aurelius writes in his Meditations, "Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Give yourself this retreat constantly, and refresh yourself." Epictetus, who spent much of his life as a slave, a man who owned nothing, whose body could be used and abused at another's will, taught, "No one can harm you without your consent. You are hurt the moment you believe yourself to be." This sounds paradoxical. How can a slave be free? How can someone imprisoned, tortured, stripped of everything, maintain autonomy? How can the mind be a fortress when the body is so vulnerable? This is what I want to explain. Not as a metaphor, but as a precise philosophical claim about the nature of human consciousness and the location of genuine freedom. The distinction between body and soul. The Stoics made a fundamental distinction that modern thinking often obscures. They separated what is yours from what merely belongs to you temporarily. Your body is not you. It's something you use, something you inhabit, but it's not your essential self. It can be constrained, injured, imprisoned, or killed. It's made of matter, subject to physical laws, vulnerable to force. Epictetus states this with brutal clarity, "I must die. But must I die groaning? I must be imprisoned. But must I whine as well? I must suffer exile. Can anyone then hinder me from going with a smile, and a good courage, and at peace?" The body's condition, free or enslaved, healthy or sick, alive or dying, these are external circumstances. They happen to you, but they are not you. What you actually are, what the Stoics called your prohairesis or ruling faculty, is your capacity for reasoned choice, your ability to grant or withhold assent, your power of judgment. This exists in a domain that physical force cannot reach. Marcus Aurelius writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is not wishful thinking. This is an observation about the structure of consciousness. No one can force you to think a particular thought. No one can compel you to judge something as good or evil. No one can make you desire or hate anything. These are internal operations, and they remain under your control even when everything external is taken from you. The nature of the citadel. So what is this inner citadel? What are you actually defending? Pierre Hadot, the French philosopher who studied Marcus Aurelius extensively, identified it as the seat of your moral identity. Your capacity to maintain your character, your virtue, your dignity as a rational being, regardless of external circumstances. The citadel contains several elements. Your capacity for reason, your ability to think clearly, to distinguish truth from falsehood, to recognize what's actually in your control versus what isn't. Your moral will, your choice to act with virtue or vice, to pursue what's genuinely good or what merely appears good. Your inner freedom. Your autonomy of judgment, your ability to interpret events according to nature rather than passion. And most fundamentally, your assent, your power to say yes or no to the impressions that arrive in your mind. Marcus Aurelius writes, "External things are not the problem. It's your assessment of them, which you can erase right now." This is the citadel. This space where impressions arrive and you decide what they mean, whether to accept them, and how to respond to them. This is the territory that is genuinely yours. What cannot be taken? Epictetus taught by examining what can and cannot be taken from you. He would ask his students to consider, what do you actually possess that is genuinely secure? Your wealth. Fortune can remove it in a day. Your health. Age and illness are inevitable. Your body. It can be imprisoned, injured, or destroyed. Your reputation. Others control what they think of you. Your relationships. People die, leave, change their minds. Everything external is vulnerable. Everything outside the citadel can be taken. But then he would ask, can anyone make you greedy without your consent? Can they make you envious? Can they make you cowardly? Can they corrupt your character? No. These are internal states that require your participation. You must assent to the impression, this is good, therefore I must have it, before greed can arise. You must judge, I am less because they have more, before envy exists. You must believe, this danger is unbearable, before cowardice takes hold. Epictetus states, who can prevent you from agreeing with what is true? No one. Who can compel you to accept what is false? No one. This is the unconquerable nature of the citadel. External force can destroy your body, but it cannot force your mind to judge incorrectly, to abandon virtue, to surrender its essential freedom. The test of slavery. Epictetus's own life demonstrates this teaching. He was born a slave in Hierapolis, brought to Rome, owned by Epictetus, a powerful freedman who served Nero. His leg was permanently damaged, ancient sources suggest from abuse or torture by his master. By every external measure, Epictetus had no freedom. His body could be used as property. His time was not his own. He could be beaten, sold, or killed at his owner's discretion. And yet, Epictetus was free in the way that mattered most. His master could control his body but not his mind. Could force his labor but not corrupt his judgment. Could imprison his body but not touch his inner citadel. He taught, the tyrant may say, I will chain you. What can he chain? Your leg, perhaps, but not your will. I will imprison you. Your body, but not your purpose. I will behead you. When did I ever tell you that mine was the only neck that couldn't be severed? This is not bravado. This is recognition of what's actually true. The body is vulnerable, that's its nature. But the ruling faculty, the capacity for virtue, the inner citadel, these are genuinely beyond the tyrant's reach. Marcus Aurelius and power. The remarkable thing is that Marcus Aurelius, who possessed nearly unlimited external power as Emperor of Rome, taught the same thing Epictetus did. You might think that an emperor would focus on external control, the empire he ruled, the armies he commanded, the laws he could make. But Marcus understood that external power is illusory. Even an emperor cannot control outcomes. He cannot prevent plague, betrayal, war, or death. What he can control is his inner citadel. Marcus writes, when force of circumstance upsets your equanimity, lose no time in recovering your self-control, and do not remain out of tune longer than you can help. Habitual recurrence to the harmony will increase your mastery of it. Notice what he's saying, the measure of strength is not whether external events disturb you, they will. The measure is how quickly you return to the citadel, how rapidly you restore your inner order. Marcus had every external advantage. Epictetus had none. Yet they taught the same philosophy, because they recognized the same truth, external circumstances vary infinitely, but the inner citadel remains available to everyone. What threatens the citadel? If an external force cannot breach the citadel, what can? Only one thing, your own consent. The citadel falls from within. It's breached when you abandon it, when you forget what's actually yours, when you treat external things as if they had power over your essential self. Epictetus identifies the specific ways people surrender the citadel. First, by believing that external things are good or evil in themselves. When you judge that wealth is good, you've made your happiness dependent on something outside your control. You've opened the gates. Second, by granting others power over your inner state. When you let another person's opinion determine your worth, you've surrendered sovereignty. When you let their approval dictate your peace, you've abandoned the citadel. Third, by reacting to impressions without examination. When anger arises, and you simply act on it, when desire appears, and you simply follow it, you've given up your ruling faculty. You're no longer governing yourself. Marcus Aurelius writes, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now. The citadel is threatened only by your own failure to maintain it. By carelessness, by forgetting, by allowing impressions to bypass your rational examination and directly produce responses. The practice of defense. So how do you defend the citadel? How do you maintain this inner fortress? The Stoics taught specific practices, daily disciplines designed to strengthen your governance of the ruling faculty. First, the discipline of assent. This is the practice of examining every impression before granting it entry. An impression arises, I have been insulted. Before accepting this as true, you examine it, have I actually been insulted, or has someone merely spoken words? Do words have power over me? Is my worth determined by another's opinion? Epictetus taught, concerning the things that come to your mind, examine them by the standards you possess. Above all, determine whether they concern things in your control or things not in your control. If they concern anything not in your control, be prepared to say, this is nothing to me. This is active defense. You're standing guard at the gates of the citadel, examining what seeks entry, rejecting false impressions, accepting only what withstands rational scrutiny. Second, the morning preparation. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. Before engaging with the world, he would remind himself of what he might encounter and how he would respond. He writes, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. This isn't pessimism. This is preparation. By anticipating difficulty, you're not caught off guard. Your citadel remains stable because you've already determined how you'll respond to external challenges. Third, the evening review. Seneca describes Epictetus's practice of nightly examination. When the light has been removed from sight, and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and measure my deeds and words. I conceal nothing from myself, I pass nothing by. This is maintenance. You review where you held the citadel and where you abandoned it. Where you responded with virtue and where you reacted with passion. Where you remained free, and where you allowed external things to disturb you. The freedom that remains. What does maintaining the inner citadel actually give you? Not comfort, necessarily. Not pleasure. Not the absence of pain or difficulty. It gives you the one thing that cannot be taken, your dignity as a rational being. Your capacity to face any circumstance with virtue intact. Your freedom to remain yourself regardless of what happens. Epictetus says, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. And Marcus echoes, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is the paradox of the inner citadel. By recognizing what you cannot control, you discover absolute control over what matters most. By accepting the vulnerability of externals, you find the invulnerability of the internal. By letting go of what can be taken, you possess what cannot be taken. Even facing death, the ultimate loss of externals, the citadel remains. Epictetus faced his own death philosophically. Marcus Aurelius died on campaign, likely from plague, maintaining his philosophical practice to the end. Their bodies could be killed. Their citadels remained intact. The practical reality. This is not just ancient philosophy. This teaching has been proven repeatedly under the most extreme circumstances. Viktor Frankl, imprisoned in Nazi concentration camps, discovered the same truth the Stoics taught. He wrote, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Admiral James Stockdale, imprisoned and tortured for 7 years in Vietnam, credited Epictetus with his survival. He said the Stoics taught him, you are your own master. You are responsible for your own attitude. These are not metaphors. These are reports from the extremity of human experience. Even there, even in the most brutal circumstances, the inner citadel holds if you maintain it. The daily application. But you don't need extreme circumstances to practice this. Every day presents opportunities to defend or abandon the citadel. When someone criticizes you, you can defend the citadel by recognizing, their words are external, my worth is internal. They can speak, but I determine what those words mean. When circumstances don't unfold as you wished, you can maintain the citadel by remembering, outcomes are not mine to control, my response is. The event is external, my virtue in facing it is internal. When loss comes, and it will come, you can hold the citadel by understanding. What was lost was never truly mine, it was on loan from fortune. But my capacity to bear loss with dignity, that is genuinely mine. Marcus Aurelius writes, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. This is not denial. It's distinction. Distinguish between what happens to your body and what happens to your character. Between what happens to your circumstances and what happens to your virtue. Between what fortune can take and what remains genuinely yours. The inner citadel is not something you build. It already exists. It's the essential nature of your consciousness as a rational being. The question is only whether you recognize it, whether you maintain it, whether you retreat to it when external pressures mount. Epictetus's final teaching on this is simple: demand not that events should happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and your life will be serene. Marcus Aurelius adds, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. No one can enter this space without your permission. No force can corrupt it without your consent. No circumstance can destroy it unless you abandon it. This is your inner citadel. This is your unconquerable fortress. This is your genuine freedom. Everything else can be taken. This cannot. Everything else is vulnerable to fortune. This is not. Everything else is subject to external forces. This alone remains purely yours. Defend it. Maintain it. Retreat to it when necessary. And discover what both the slave and the emperor discovered, that in this inner space, you are absolutely free.